Everybody, this is real estate coach Craig Proctor. Come on in, and we're going to talk about how to have a real business, not a job in real estate. Let's face it, you look around at some of these top real estate agents and you see how much money they make, and you're wondering, how are they doing this? Look, life is short. We know that. And your real estate business should be serving your life, right? Like your business should be making your life better. That's why we got into real estate in the first place, right? We thought we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to have all this free time. We're going to have a great life. And the fact of the matter is, for many real estate agents, they're trading their lives for their success, and it's a bad trade. Now, if you're listening to me right now and this makes sense to you, you want to pay attention to what I did and what I teach agents to do. So I first get into real estate, have no idea what I'm doing, never sold anything in my life before. My father's a real estate agent. It's the only reason I get into real estate. And my dad says, don't do it. Even my own father says, don't do it. Now, he wanted me to succeed, believe me. But my father knew how hard real estate is. And he said, son, you've never really stuck with anything. And he was right. I dropped out of college. I dropped out of university. I'd never sold anything in my life before. I knew nothing about marketing. But I did the opposite of what Dad said to do, and I got into real estate. And what did I do? I did the same thing as you. I looked around at what all the other agents were doing. I listened to what my broker told me to do. And I'm out there, knocking on doors, cold calling, sitting in open houses, doing floor time. And that first year was a struggle. Clearly, what I had was a job. And it depended on me. And I was doing things I didn't like doing. And I wasn't free. I was working all the time and for not near enough money. So here's what we get tricked into thinking and believing when we first get into real estate. We think we have a business, but we don't. We just have a job. Now, you can have a business, because I'm going to tell you the rest of the story here. Within 3 years, I become the number one RE/MAX agent in the entire world. Not the country, the world. How did I do that? How do I go from as dumb a pile of rocks? My own father doesn't even think I should go into real estate. I don't have any money. I have no experience. I'm still living at home with my parents at this point, to becoming the number one RE/MAX agent in the world within 36 months of having my license. That's what I'm going to share with you here today. I started off just like you. I worked hard. I followed everything they told me to do. And I knew about a year into this that this was not for me, that my father was right, that if I had to continue doing it the way they teach us to do it, I would leave the business. I wouldn't stick with it. So I was forced, through my own necessity, to figure out a better way to sell real estate. Okay, here's the first thing that happened. First thing that happened is I needed to figure out how to get in front of buyers and sellers without me calling them. I had to figure out, what should I offer? What could I offer buyers and sellers that was so unique, it was so awesome, that they would call me? Let me know. Would that help you if you knew what to offer buyers and sellers so they would call you? Many of you say to me, hey, once I get face-to-face with a buyer that wants to buy or a seller that wants to sell, hey, I'm good. I just don't have enough of those opportunities. That's right. You don't have enough at-bats. You're like a baseball player that can hit the ball out of the park, but the manager never puts you up to bat. You're not going to get any home runs. I want to talk to you today about how to get more at-bats. By the way, if you haven't checked in already, do that. Let me know what city you sell real estate in, and let's get you coached up. I have some information I want to offer you. I have a free report that kind of summarizes what we're talking about today. I'm going to give it to you, okay? Free of charge, no obligation. No one's going to call you. No one's going to hound you. All you need to do is type into the comments below, free report, and let us know the city and state, or in Canada, the city and province that you operate in. Okay, so let's get back to this idea of, in the beginning, we think we have a business and we don't. We just have a bad job. Think about this. Let me explain it. You have business cards, right? So you say to your friends, to your clients, I'm in the real estate business. I have a real estate business. You have signs on their property. You have for sale signs and sold signs. So we actually fake ourselves into thinking that we have a business. And the truth is, it's just a bad job. Why is it a bad job? Because you don't get a paycheck. You don't get a salary. You don't get a company car. If you work for a large corporate company anywhere in the country, and you were a decent salesperson, you would get a company car. They would provide you all the leads. You wouldn't have to spend your own money. The company would provide you the leads and the clients. You'd probably have 4 or 6 weeks of paid vacation. None of that exists in real estate. So if we're going to take all the risk and all the chances here, it needs to be better than just going and working for a big company, right? We have no health plan. We need to create a business. So the first thing we need to understand is you don't have a business, you have a job, and you got to ask yourself, is that what I want? A business depends on you. A business depends on you. That's why you can't go away on vacation, right? You can't go away. I mean, when you go on vacation, you just bring your laptop to Mexico on the beach, right? You're just working from a different location. Am I right or wrong? If you did have an assistant, let's pretend you did. I don't know whether you do or you don't. But if you had an assistant and you called your assistant today and you said, hey, I'm going to go off to Europe for the next month, you know the truth. There would be nothing to come back to because you are the business. Let's show you how to change that. How many of you would agree that businesses have people? Businesses have people that work at the business, right? It doesn't depend on you, the owner. If it all depends on you, you don't have a business, you have a job, okay? You don't own a business, you own a job. So that was me. That's how we all start off. Then I discover how to generate an overflow of business without cold calling, without door knocking, without buying Zillow leads and all the open houses, chasing expireds. I figure out how to get buyers and sellers to call me. Now, this isn't BS because you can look at my very well-known and public track record. I'm a nobody. I get into real estate, and within 3 years of having my license, I'm the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world. How? Not that I'm a super salesperson. No, I offered stuff that buyers and sellers wanted so badly, they would call me. I proved to my marketplace that I was the best choice. Now, was I the best choice? Well, remember, marketing is about perceptions. Marketing is not about what's real. So through marketing, I convinced my city that I was the best choice when it came to buying or selling real estate. And I did that within 36 months. Now, you're like, okay, good for you, Craig. That's awesome for you. How does this apply to me? I have created more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach or trainer out there. I show agents how to go from where you are right now, how to do what was I doing? Selling 600 homes a year. Did it involve me at the end? No. In fact, my city's up north. I was living in Florida on an island, and my business was working on its own. I wasn't a broker owner. I was just a real estate agent working at the RE/MAX office. So I've cloned my business through thousands and thousands of real estate agents all over the United States and Canada. How many of you are interested in knowing how I did this? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't checked in, just say, yeah, man, I'm interested. This isn't made believe. A lot of these coaches out there today, they haven't sold 10,000 homes like me. They haven't made millions and millions of dollars. No, they're coaches. I don't coach you. What I do is I give you a system. Sure, I coach you on how to use the system, but I'm not here to motivate you or give you ideas that are not proven or to keep you accountable. Did you make your 200 phone calls today? That's not what I do. What I do is I show you logical systems to put it into your business that actually work. Let's start with this. Why are people going to call you in the first place? Oh, well, I'm really good. I'm experienced. I've lived in this city for 17 years. You can trust me. As if any of your competitors are saying the opposite. Do you have any of your competitors who are saying, I'm not very good, you can't trust me, I'm kind of lazy? No, it's ridiculous what they teach us. And every real estate agent that's saying these things, somehow when they're saying it, they think it's different. The truth is, everyone in the industry is saying the same old lame things. You're going to know whether your marketing is working. Do you have a flood of people calling you every day? That's it. There's your answer. If you don't have a flood of people calling you every day, then what you're offering isn't strong enough. That's the measuring stick. So once we get there, once I teach you how to get real motivated, not BS leads, not buying Zillow leads, people that won't pick up the phone, calling hundreds of people, you're poorly positioned. It's a bad way to run the business. Of course, trainers teach you that. Why? That's all they know. They don't know how to do what I did to make millions of dollars and create all these millionaire agents. So we have to have really, really great offers. When we have good offers, an abundance of people will call you. Now, here's what you're going to do in the beginning. You, like me, are going to think you can handle it all, right? There's only me. I'm a solo agent. I ain't got no assistant. There's no such thing as teams back when I get into real estate. It's just me. I'm a young guy, younger than I am now. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So I'm just working 7 days a week. And I sold 155 homes in that second year, just me. That's not sustainable. How many of you would agree working 7 days a week, that gets old. It's not sustainable. That's why we have a lot of real estate agents that come into the business. They can do the sprint, but they can't do the marathon. They can't keep it up. So here's what I do. I start to look around at industries outside of real estate. And I realize there's a whole bunch of industries outside of the real estate industry where no cold calling exists. They're not doing open houses. They're not begging people. They're not chasing people around. And they have real businesses, right? With people that do the work for them. So I can't handle this abundance of leads. You've got to have an overflow. Do not bother hiring anyone or listening to me any further until step one. Okay, a lot of bad advice is, if you want to get rich in real estate, go out and hire a team. Terrible advice. Why would you want to unnecessarily income split your commissions when you yourself could go out and list those houses? That's terrible advice. So you get to the point where you got an abundance and you're working all the time and you're doing as much as you can, and then you realize, I've got this overflow. I literally couldn't go out on all the listing appointments. I couldn't do it. I had too many of them coming in. You're like, oh, that's BS. Nope, it's true. 150, go check out my documented record. I sold over 10,000 homes. Most of the 10,000, though, were not sold by me. Because here's what I do. I meet an agent. Her name is Lindy Black. She's coachable. She's a year or two in real estate. And I meet her at an offer presentation. And I say, hey, Lindy, why don't you come and join up with me, partner up with me, and I'll give you the overflow. I literally cannot work with all the buyers and sellers that are coming at me. So she's not making any money. She says yes. Within that first year, she makes $250,000 for her net in her pocket, which makes me $250,000. Well, not too long, she comes into the office. She's like, hairs all over the place. She goes, I can't do this. Now I've got too much business. So I hire a second licensed agent, a third licensed agent, a fourth licensed agent, 8 licensed agents. We're selling 600 homes a year, and now I'm giving away some of the work. I'm able to move to Sarasota, Florida. I live on an island. I have a boat, and my business, remember, I ain't a broker. I'm not a broker. I'm just a real estate agent working at the RE/MAX office with a bunch of licensed agents orbiting around me while I'm on the beach in Sarasota, Florida with my boat and my family, and my kids are going to school there. That is the test of a real business, right? If you could leave your business and it operates without you, how many of you would agree that's actually a business? What most agents have is a bad job. Sorry, but you do. But you don't have to stay that way. You can decide, you know what? How come these other people have something that I don't have, right? You can have it too. You just need someone like me to show you how to do this. So step number one, we got to create abundance. Probably if I looked at what you were doing, I would look at it right away and say, well, no wonder it's not working. Like, you tell me, do you have an abundance of buyers and sellers beating down your door, asking you, calling you, saying, I'd like Craig to list my house. I'd like to speak to Craig about selling my home. That needs to happen every single day. Okay, step number 2 is we have to have a team in place to handle that abundance, right? We have to have a follow-up system because not everyone that calls you is going to be ready to buy or sell today. That would be beautiful, right? It'd be a great world if every buyer or seller that called you said, hey, I'm ready to sell today, or I'm ready to buy a home today. The majority of prospects, of course, are not ready today. They're 3 months or a year out. So we're going to have a follow-up system. Then we need to have a killer presentation system. Okay, my listing presentation in the beginning, it sucked because I didn't know what I was doing, and I wasn't doing my presentation often enough because I didn't have enough people that wanted to list their home with me. It's like playing golf, right? If I play golf once a year, I'm going to suck. If I play 3 times a year, I'm still going to suck. If I play 3 times a week, I might start to get better. Well, I was listing 4 or 5 homes every single day, so I got to play around with the presentation. And I'm watching the expression on the seller's face. And I'm like, oh, when I say these things, they're not interested. I can tell by their facial expression, the words that are coming out of my mouth are not working, and don't say that anymore. Then there were other things other words that would come out of my mouth, and they were well received. And I'm watching their facial expression. So over the years, doing 4 or 5 listing presentations every day, I learned how to say the right things in the right order. And I kept tweaking with that, right? Tweaking with it, experimenting, changing. If I lose a listing, go back, do the autopsy. And I perfected this listing presentation. I kept tweaking it and changing it until when? Until I couldn't make it any better. And I stuck with that thing. And that's what I taught the other agents that were partnering up with me. So first, I teach you the systems, right? And then you can teach those systems to the agents that you partner up with. Now we got something called leverage. It doesn't all depend on you. Question, how many homes could you sell if it had nothing to do with you? That's a writer downer, right? How many of you like that? Let me know in comments. That was the epiphany moment for me when I thought about how many homes could Craig Proctor sell if it had nothing to do with Craig Proctor? Well, I sold 10,000 of them, and I'm on the beach in Sarasota, right? This thing works so you don't have to. It works so you don't have to. You know, the way I was raised, probably the way you were raised, is I believed if you want to make more money, you got to work harder. I believe there was a link between hours worked and effort put in and income. It's not true. I never worked as hard in real estate as that first year. And I also never made less money as a real estate agent than in my first year in real estate. And I never worked less in real estate than at the end of my career. And I never made more money working less than at that point because I had the systems in place. So we need a lead generation system. We need a lead follow-up and conversion system. Okay, we need a presentation system. When we meet with buyers, when we meet with sellers, you and your team members all got to be singing the same song. How many of you believe there's probably a best way to do it, right? Like you get on an airplane and the pilot has a flight plan. You hope the pilot does, right? They're not flying from New York City to Paris like, oh, we're just going to wing it. They have a flight plan. That's the plan. That's the best way to fly from New York City to Paris. When you're getting surgery, if you're getting surgery, the surgeon has a plan for the operation. They're not winging it. They're not like making it up. Oh, I think we'll take this part out today. When you're a professional, when you're a real estate agent, you need to use the best practices. That means you need someone that actually knows what they're talking about to show and explain them to you. And most of these coaches today, I'm sorry, they are pretenders. How many of them made millions and millions of dollars actually doing what they teach you? Or are they teaching you a whole bunch of stuff they've got no personal experience with at all? It's the latter, right? If I want to play golf, learn how to play golf, I want to learn from somebody that's a great golfer right now. I want to learn from the best that have actually done what they're teaching me, not people that are operating from theory or something they read in a book. So get yourself a coach, whether it's me or somebody else. You get yourself a coach. It'll massively save you time, a massive shortcut. You've made mistakes, right? We're all going to make mistakes. I will share with you all the mistakes I made. Why? So you don't have to make them anymore. So we get this thing rolling. And if you want, you could even, if you want to think big, you could open in different locations. So some of my top members who are like number 1, number 2 in the world for Keller Williams or Remax, they have Craig Proctor locations all over the country, right? So you can replicate this. The nice thing about this, you can make this as big or small as you want. Maybe you're listening to me right now and you're like, well, gee, Craig, I don't have any ambition to sell 100 homes or 1,000 homes or open up all over the country. I just want to go from 20 transactions to 40 transactions. That's fine. And what you believe is that's all I need. But what if I could show you when you get to 40, it would be actually easier for you to get to 100, right? Because what you're thinking is, oh my God, to sell 100 homes, I'd have to give up so much. Like based on your experience, if I say make $1 million a year, most agents would say, oh, I'd never want to do that. I'm like, why? Did you try it and not like it? No. They're like, well, if, based on what I know about real estate, to make $1 million a year would mean divorce, right? It would mean my kids would never see me. It means I would never be able to go to the gym or I'd be working all the time. That's what they believe. Why? Because that's their experience. What if it's true that it's the opposite? The opposite's true. That if you made $1 million, it's easier to make $1 million than it is to make $200,000. How many of you would agree it's hard in real estate to make $200,000? Okay, it's hard to live in real estate as an agent when you're making $200,000. It's also hard to make $1 million, right? That's what you believe. If they're both hard, choose your hard, right? Choose your difficult. Why don't we make $1 million a year? if it means you could work less than what you're doing now, you've got to believe that. How do I get you to believe that? I get you to hang around with a whole bunch of Craig Proctor millionaire agents that you become friends with, and you're like, yeah, well, I've talked to a whole bunch of these people. I believe it. They're living it. They took Craig Proctor's model and they implanted Craig Proctor's systems into their business in their city, whether they're in the United States or Canada. And we take agents from very mediocre, very small beginnings to huge numbers. There's one gentleman I was talking to last week. His name is Jason Clark. Jason Clark with an E. You can Google the guy. When he started with me, he was making $100,000 a year. He moved to a new city where he knew nobody. And he moved to the new city in 2020, the year of the pandemic. Okay? I took him to $200,000, and then we doubled it to $400,000, and then we doubled it again. And this year he's going to do over $1 million a year. And he's only had his license for 48 months. He's been with me for 36 months. This is not unique. This is what happens when somebody teaches you how to do this properly. Who's taught you how to do it? Like whatever you're doing right now, you didn't invent it, right? Whether you're door knocking or buying Zillow leads or begging for referrals or sitting in open houses or whatever they've told you to do, you didn't invent this. This is what somebody else told you to do. So we don't have to take this personally, right? It's not like an attack on us. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I did what the broker told me to do. I did what my father of 20 years told me to do. Go door knock. How do I do that? Here's the phone book. Where do you start? A. So I start knocking on doors. Create a little filing system for expired listings, and you're going to call them, and these people don't like us. They hang up on us. I did exactly what they told me to do. Same person in the same city, and I was failing. Then you know what I said? Enough is enough. I'm not going to do it that way. This doesn't make sense. I'm going to look around at how other businesses operate outside of real estate. I was introduced to direct response marketing. As the name would suggest, you're going to get an immediate direct response every time you run these inexpensive ads. This will not break your bank account. A lot of the stuff I teach agents is free, like running ads on Facebook Marketplace or sending out emails with awesome offers to your database, the people that already know you and love you, right? You're not making enough offers, and your offers are simply not strong enough. I keep repeating this because you know the truth. If I'm wrong, you're not on this call right now. If I'm wrong, you've already hung up. You're not watching this anymore because you're like, I already have an overflow. I'm already doing everything that Craig is saying. You're listening to this right now because you know of my track record and you know this makes sense, right? You need someone how to teach you how to have a real business in real estate instead of a bad job. So I have some information for you. First of all, I have this report, okay, the 9-step system to designing your business. And if you want this free report, in the comments below, I want you to type in free report. Type in free report. That's hot off my cop here. We will send this out. No one's going to call you. No one's going to bother you. I don't need your money. I'm good. Remember, I sold over 10,000 homes. Multiply that by an average commission of, say, $15,000 or $20,000. You know how much money I made as a real estate agent. By the way, I didn't work for ABC Real Estate. I worked for RE/MAX. I was their top agent in the world, or one of the top 1 or 2 agents for RE/MAX in the world for 15 years. I'm good. I don't need your money. I do coaching and helping agents as a side hobby. Now, ironically, I make a lot of money doing this as well. I was riding both horses for many years. I was not only the top agent in the world for RE/MAX, one of the top agents in the country, I was also one of the top coaches, and I still am today. I'm available for you. All you have to do today is say, I'm interested. Write into the comments, I'm interested. I'm not going to ask you for any money. I just want you to know this is free training. And if this makes sense to you and you're looking for somebody to help you in your business, you type in, I'm interested. Now, if you're really interested, you can book a free over the Zoom business consultation, not with me, but with one of my right-hand people. And you're like, oh, here he goes. Here's the sales pitch. Nope, we're not going to try to sell you anything. What we're going to do is we're going to help you. It's a pretty cool strategy, right? Instead of trying to sell you something, what if I just paid it forward and helped you and gave you good advice and proved that I can help you by actually helping you? That's what I'm going to do. So if you want help for free for $0, if someone could type into the comments below, Proctor Consult. So Proctor, Proctor, no space, Proctor Consult. Consult is CONSULT.com, proctorconsult.com. You're going to go to my Acuity Daytimer. You're going to book a day and a time that works for you. We'll have about a half an hour conversation. Let me explain how this is going to work. We start off by tell us a little bit about yourself. How many transactions did you do this year? Great. What's your goal? How many transactions would you like to do? So an agent might say, well, I'm doing 25 right now, and my goal is to do 50. The obvious next question is, why are you not already doing 50? Right? You say you're doing 25, but you'd like to do 50. What's holding you back from reaching your goal? And you will proceed to tell us what is holding you back. And I am going to show you how to fix the problem. I'm going to say, well, you should do this and stop doing that, and that doesn't make sense. Have you considered this? Now, you can take my advice for free, or you can hang up from the Zoom and just continue to do what you're going to do and ignore that Craig Proctor ever existed, right? But why would you turn your back on getting some really good advice? You know, it's, what's that old song? That's the great advice I didn't take. How many of us have been given great advice that we didn't take? So right now you have an opportunity to get some great advice, and you can decide whether you want to accept the advice or even consider the advice, or just keep doing what you're doing right now. But if you keep doing what you're doing right now, would you guys agree you're going to keep getting more of what you've got? Right? Agents come to me, I want to make more money. I want to make $1 million a year, but they refuse to change their routine. How many of you have a morning routine? Okay, you've got a morning routine. So you get up, for me, get up, immediately run into the shower, have a shower, go down and have a coffee. And that's my routine. And if people mess with my routine, I don't get my shower, I don't get my coffee, I don't like it. You have a morning routine. And you don't like it when people mess with your routine. You also have a business or work routine. There's things you do every single day. I do this and I do this. And you would tell me, this is what I do. Every day, this is what I do. I do these things. And these things that you do cause the outcome that you're getting, right? So whatever it is, 25 transactions, 50 transactions. If we want to change the results, we have to change the routine. But to change the routine, we got to back up the bus, beep, 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 beep. We got to change the paradigm. We got to change how you look at real estate, how you think about real estate. Once we change the way you think, you'll start to change what you do. And when you change what you do, you'll start to change the results and get the results that you want. If this is making sense to you, can you guys do me a favor? Smash the like button, okay? Or the little heart, give me a little heart or smash the like button. And if you haven't already checked in with the city that you operate in, the city you sell real estate, please do that. I'm just curious as to know where everybody is who's watching us here today. So please check in. And I also have a private Facebook group. If you'd like to be part of my private Facebook group, if you type into the comments below private group, there's 8,000 top agents inside the Craig Proctor private Facebook group. I would love you to rub shoulders with them, learn about what they're doing. I mean, it'll serve you, but obviously it serves me as well. If I dropped you in a room with hundreds of Craig Proctor advocates, hundreds of people that echo these success stories that Craig took me from 100,000 to 200 to 400 to over $1 million, and he did that in a couple of years. How many millionaire agents would you need to speak to before you're convinced, right? So I understand you're skeptical. Everyone's trying to sell you something, right? Everyone is a coach. Everyone that thinks they know something about real estate, whether they actually did anything or not, they all proclaim they're an expert. They're all on social media. They're all coaching. They all want your money. Look at the track record. That's what I would do. Look at the person's track record. Do they have any experience in actually talking about this? How do they call themselves an expert? That would be like me proclaiming to the world, Craig Proctor is the #1 heart surgeon in the country, when I've never been a doctor and I've never done heart surgery. But this kind of shenanigans happens every single day. People with their hand out trying to take your money. I'm the real deal. Check it out. 10,000 homes sold, right? $1 billion of real estate volume, over $1 billion. #1 agent in the world for RE/MAX, and I've created more millionaire agents than any other coach or trainer. Please check in. Smash the like button. Let me know that you're into this. smash the like button, maybe give me a little heart. And don't forget to order the free report. This information will be sent out to you free of charge, and it just summarizes what we've talked about today. So if you found this extremely helpful, please let me know in the comments. I'm real estate coach Craig Proctor, and thank you so much for watching this. Have a great day. Remember to follow this page so whenever I go live, you're going to be notified. Take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're gonna see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's gonna let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.